What's the benefit or value of ventilated seats for you?
Oh, it's huge. For Singapore, especially where it's so warm, the ventilated seats are great.
This is the review of the Tesla Model 3 Performance, the refreshed Highland version. Next to me, I've got Eugene, who's owned this car for how long now?
About a week and a half.
So very fresh. I can see it's in a beautiful quicksilver color. This is Tesla's supercar that goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 3.1 seconds. In this video, we're going to do a tour of the car, both the exterior and the interior. Eugene also owned the Tesla Model 3 Performance, the original version. Which year was that?
2020.
So a 2020 version.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about what has changed, what has improved, and what stayed the same. And after a tour of the car, head inside, drive around Singapore to experience the acceleration, the comfort, and I'll share with you a final verdict of who should get this car. Click subscribe to stay updated to more videos on Tesla. I'll go behind the camera right now as Eugene gives us a tour.
Today we're going to talk about the Model 3 Performance Highland version. So walk you through the car. Maybe we'll start with the front. So one thing about the Performance is actually one of the more distinct differences with the other versions is the aero. So the front, you can see some of the nice aero touches, mainly the splitter and this gap here, which is a nice aero touch. There's one way to quite easy to tell the performance from the other versions.
Agreed. This generation Tesla already made it a lot more visually distinct.
Yeah.
In the past, there were less cues, especially in front, between the performance and the non-performance versions of the Model 3.
That's right. The front still opens the same way. You could use the app. And you still get a nice, pretty decent size space here to put various things, shopping and maybe a charger.
I know you've been a Tesla owner for many years. How much have you used the frunk now?
Pretty often, because it's easily accessible. And it's good for just light shopping and some basic stuff. So very useful actually. It's a pity when some of the other EVs don't have a frunk. I think it's one of the few things that adds to an EV's utility.
I agree.
Yeah.
And you picked the quicksilver color, which is a very nice color. How would you compare this with the previous gray or silver versions that Tesla had?
Oh, so I really like this color. And I heard that this was one of the original colors when Tesla first launched the Model 3 in the US. But it wasn't available for other markets, and finally they brought it here. So I really wanted to get this color. This is my favorite color of all the colors actually. White would be the other one, but I had my previous one was white, so I thought this time round let's go for the quicksilver.
It's a good contrast. And the other big difference in front for the Model 3 Performance are these new 20-inch Urban Turbine wheels.
Which I really like. First of all, I think they're forged, so they're strong and light. The other thing is they have a slightly dished, I don't know if you can see it in the video, so a bit recessed, so quite sporty. Yeah. And that's another nice detail that they've put in for these wheels.
Tesla also says that the brakes are better as well. So if you compare this, have you test driven the original rear-wheel drive or the long-range version, and how's the braking for performance?
I have. I think unless you brake really hard and at high speed, it's probably not going to feel that much of a difference. But certainly in emergency situations, this would stop you more effectively for sure. And that's actually one of the reasons I decided to go to performance as well. Also because of the bigger brakes.
You get better brakes, and well, this is the performance version. On the specs sheet, like it's supposed to be a lower car, but at least according to Tesla's website, it's just like 1 cm lower than the rear-wheel drive version, which I have. Has this been a challenge at all, going through humps, car parks, slopes?
So far, no. And even though the front has a new splitter, it's a little bit lower, but so far it's cleared at least a few car parks I've been to. With humps as well as coming out on the slope, off the slope, right? Sometimes it's a little bit scary, but so far it's been okay.
And on top, like all Teslas, we've got a panoramic glass roof, and the door handles still remain. Always a mystery for people who are new to Teslas. How's been the experience so far in recent years?
I think people have gotten used to it. Certainly friends, family now, with more Teslas on the road, and they've sat Teslas more often. It's much more natural in terms of opening the doors. The other thing about the performance is got a staggered wheel setup, so they've got wider tires at the back versus the front.
Oh,
Yeah.
What's the reason for this?
I think it's road holding, handling. So the rears are 235s. I think. Oh, I mean, sorry. The fronts are 235s. The rears are, I think, two. I don't see it, but it's a wider tire, it's a wider profile.
Interesting. Is this only for performance?
It's only for performance, yeah.
So the benefits like better handling.
Better handling, better grip at the back as well, for sure.
And as we head to the back, we get this very unique badge. This is the performance badge. Not to be confused with the plaid logo, which is on, you'll see this on the Model S and Model X. The plaids go from 0 to 100 in 1.99 seconds. These ones here are the fastest Teslas we can officially get in Singapore. So there's a badge behind here. We've got, this time in the refreshed version, instead of just the T, we've got the Tesla wording. Any preference between the designs, Eugene?
I actually prefer the T logo. And I wasn't really sure about this as well. I kind of like the subtle version, which was just dual, I think it was dual motor, and then they had the line at the bottom.
Yeah,
right?
red line below dual motor.
I was considering just removing all the badges actually. I might still do that later on.
Just to keep it minimal.
Yeah.
And let's just take a look at the trunk space.
Okay, let's
Now,
open it up.
Tesla has this like a just walk in, walk out trunk. Do you use it at all?
I'm not. I'm not sure how it works actually. We can try it.
Yeah, it's a software feature that owners can just turn on and off. You've got extra hidden storage below as well. You can see everything is empty. The car smells very new as well, Eugene. Yeah, so very nice trunk, and of course it's a powered trunk like all newer Teslas.
And I didn't have this auto close in the old Performance, so this is new for me.
Nice. It's a good improvement. Then with the performance versions, we've got these carbon fiber spoilers behind, and you've got carbon fiber both in the exterior and the interior.
And you can see this one, the slight difference from the previous Performance is there's a slight angle here.
Yeah.
At the edge.
That's right.
Whereas the old one was just one flat. You didn't have this indentation here.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then of course we've got our charge port over here in the rear left. Now the performance version and the long range version, because they're dual motor, they got a slightly larger battery than the rear wheel drive, and these can charge up to 250 kilowatts.
One more detail in the rear is
Yes.
they actually have a rear diffuser now. It's not a very aggressive diffuser, but it's one that is functional.
What's the benefit of the diffuser?
Aerodynamics, so it gives you better downforce
So
at higher speeds.
it really looks nice. Really like the design. Overall, if you look at the exterior design, how do you compare this with the original Model 3 Performance?
Oh, I prefer it. It's definitely a bit more distinct, certainly with all the different aero features. So I think Tesla has put some effort, try to differentiate it a little bit more from the regular models.
So welcome to the interior of the Model 3 Performance. Can you give us a short tour of what are the key highlights in here?
So it's pretty much the same as the other Highland cars, actually, the interior. I think the main differences are, I believe this is Alcantara, slightly different material.
Yeah.
And then the seats, you get the Performance trim logo here.
That's right.
And
the
then the
logo is
seats,
pretty big also.
Seats are a little bit more sporty. I think they've got a bit more side support.
Yes.
And then I think that's about it, pretty much. Oh, and this carbon fiber trim here.
Yeah, that's right.
The other ones, I believe, are either wood or...
Oh, this is a fabric material. Like mine's a fabric material
fabric.
on the rear wheel drive.
Okay.
Behind us, like these Performance logos are pretty big. And you can see like these sport seats have a bucket design. It's meant to hold us a bit better. And of course, all the new Teslas, they come with the ambient light, so you can change the light colors on these 15-inch touchscreen over here. And in the touchscreen, again with the new user interface and the new software update, it looks really nice. You can just scroll around the car, and the user interface is great. You can open up your map like that and close it. Talking about the touchscreen, because you had the original Tesla Model 3, and that was using the Intel Atom, right now we're using
That's
an
right.
AMD Ryzen processor. What's been the real world difference for you as a user?
Oh, it's a lot more responsive actually. You can feel it straight away. Everything happens more quickly, and of course, I'm not sure if that feature where they show you all the cars and everything when you're driving, that one has a lot more detail. So they do use the additional processing for just better graphics overall. Yeah.
It does, and we're all going to see this as we drive nearby later. We're going to go to Arcadia Road to experience a little bit of the acceleration. So in the front, we've got ventilated seats. What's the benefit or value of ventilated seats for you?
Oh, it's huge for Singapore, especially where it's so warm. The ventilated seats are great. So another reason I decided to change to the Highland model. Like the ventilated seats are a big thing.
And we can all change the ventilated seat controls here. So again, there's been a recent update in the aircon control user interface, but you can see like the seats here, 3 blue means they're max. I can turn mine on as well, so there's auto. In Singapore, we'll mostly be cooling. In a very cold day, rainy day, then we may turn on the heat, but otherwise, cooling is the way to go for us here in Singapore. So you've got ventilated seats, everything's controlled by the touchscreen, the AC, and behind, we've got a good amount of space as well. And you decided to opt for the black interior. So owners can choose between the default black and also white interior. What was your thought process for getting black?
Oh, it's just practicality, easier to maintain, less chance of stains, especially when you wear, sometimes I'm a little bit afraid if you wear jeans on the white fabric or the white seats, a little bit scary. You might stain the seats.
We talked about this a year plus ago, almost 2 years ago when we were reviewing, when Eugene picked up the Model Y as well. Many people notice that if you do wear jeans frequently, sometimes there could be some color transfer to the white seats. I have the white seats on my Model 3 rear-wheel drive, but I don't wear jeans, so that hasn't been a concern for me. You've got 2 wireless chargers over here. Any difference in charging speed you notice between your original and current Model 3?
So I didn't have the charging pad for the original Model 3. So I'm not really sure, but it's about the same as in the Model Y. The one thing that was a little bit disappointed is the USB port. There's only one.
Yeah, there's only one right now.
I think
in
it's
here.
back there.
Correct. There's only one USB port at the bottom.
It's a USB-C, and initially I didn't even know it was there because it was so small.
Yeah.
I kind of missed it.
Correct. So there used to be 2 for those who had original Teslas. Right now there's one that charges up to 60 watts. So Tesla says it's good enough for laptop use, like heavy electronics use. Of course, while many modern cars have 2 USB ports, it's nice to have 2 in the future.
Yeah.
Anything else that stands out to you from the interior?
Not so much. I do prefer the stalks compared to the buttons. I'm still trying to get used to especially for the turn signals.
Yeah. So later you all will see when Eugene uses the turn signal, think of it like a mouse button, like left click, right click.
Yeah.
It's been a week and a half. From like 1 to 5, 5 being a totally native already. How's your level of adaptation to it?
I think about 4.5. The main thing is still the turn signals that I'm trying to get used to. I'm trying to do it such that I don't always look down to remind myself which one's left and which one is right.
There have been a lot of refreshed Tesla Model 3, so owners, let us know down in the comments. How's your experience driving without stalks over here? Yeah, turn signals are on the steering wheel. The drive up and down are in the touchscreen. So now Eugene is going to walk us through how he navigates the Arcadia Road and just talk about the driving experience. Let's head over there.
Okay, shall we go?
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to get used to that as well. Going to drive.
So obviously Eugene's very familiar with this territory, but otherwise for Tesla owners, We can also use the map here to navigate to our destination as well.
One thing is in the new Highland, and which I didn't have in the old one, this one has the it's got better sound insulation, right? Because from the
Yes.
glass. Yeah,
Correct.
the double glazing. I don't remember. Is it there's double glazing at the back as well?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So for all the new Teslas, both the front and the back glass are double glazed. In the past, the original performance versions of Teslas were known to be quite firm and stiff rides. How's the comfort for you now, Eugene?
Oh, that's another big thing. It's much better. Definitely more comfortable. Oh, and one of the reasons I chose the performance was also because your suspension settings are adjustable now. So you can adjust whether you want it stiff or softer depending on your driving,
Yeah.
what type of driving you're doing.
That's right, we've got adaptive suspension now. So let's just pull up the screen to share everyone. You can see here under the dynamics, of course you've got a different acceleration mode. And right now we're on chill. So I'm going to change it to, you okay, we go to insane.
Sure.
So here we are. So the car's in insane. You got the sport, ride and handling. Let's try that.
Yep.
Then of course, many owners I see like the light steering. Then we've got the track mode that can be turned on as well. And here, this is what Eugene's talking about, like the cameras. There are 7 cameras outside of the Tesla and 1 interior one over here. And that's the turn signal that Eugene was talking about. A blind spot camera comes up just to show your blind spots. You can see the car camera detects the bus next to us. What's the difference in build quality you notice in this compared to your original Tesla?
So this one is from Shanghai. My original one was a Fremont car. So you do notice it. I like the paint quality. You can definitely see the difference on the paint quality and the panel gaps as well. Much tighter panel gaps in this one. Interior wise, it's more or less the same, but I think the materials have improved a little bit as well. Certainly the surface touch, it feels a bit more higher quality actually. Some of the surfaces, especially on the dash.
What's amazing about this car is that it just looks like any other normal sedan that has supercar performance. It goes from 0 to 100 in 3.1 seconds. A lot of owners are saying, well, we wouldn't really get a chance to experience that in Singapore. What inspired you to get the performance?
So that performance part of it is not really something, there wasn't a big part of getting the performance. It was all these other things, right? Like the brakes, the nicer rims, the aero. I think those were things for me were more important. I agree, the 0 to 100 is not something you use. You probably feel it's something that it's nice to have.
These cars at 255k compared to the entry level like Cat A or even Cat B version, which is around 180, 190k. The other big difference in Singapore for us is the road tax. Because this is a dual motor vehicle, the road tax is higher as well. So the rear-wheel drive Model 3 that I'm driving, the road tax is about 2.1k, whereas the performance versions of this Model 3, the road tax is more than 5,000 per year. How does this compare and contrast with other performance cars?
It's actually more. So it's about the same as what I paid in the previous Model 3 Performance. So for me, it's not that big a change, but it is high, and I think that might be something that would put some people off getting the performance.
Agree. Most of the Teslas in Singapore are rear-wheel drive, mainly because of taxation, and also second, we've got a very small country. I think many owners don't drive out of Singapore. If you don't drive out of Singapore, you probably won't need a long range or a performance version for day-to-day commutes in our city. It's been extremely smooth for me, very quiet as well throughout the whole ride. And here we go. Now this car can accelerate at a higher top speed of up to 260 plus kilometers compared to the rear-wheel drive. There's a max speed of 217 kilometers per hour, which we never go to in Singapore anyway. Very smooth, very seamless, and even as a passenger, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. How was your experience, Eugene?
That's good. Never get tired of this acceleration.
Model 3 Performance is really fun. You can also test drive it. Tesla allows test drive of the Model 3 Performance. Just go sign up on tesla.com/test drive. You'll find a link down in the video description to experience this car for yourself. Who would you recommend the Model 3 Performance for?
I think people who like, first of all, has to be someone who likes an EV. Or even if you're coming from a performance sedan, I think you might like this. I think with this new version, the additional adjustability to the suspension, better road holding with the staggered tire setup, and of course you still get the crazy acceleration. I think people just like fun when they drive, have a fun drive.
I agree. This is a very fun car. It is not for everyone. If you want one of the best performance vehicles you can get, especially at this budget, at 250,000 Sing dollars, you're not going to get many cars that can perform at this level. Can you think of any other vehicle at 250k that can do what the Model 3 Performance does, Eugene?
Not a lot. Certainly the new Chinese players, perhaps the Seal Performance version of the Seal would probably be about the same. But then it's again a little bit different in terms of the interior and of course the design language. So yeah, I think it'll probably have to be an EV at those prices to get this type of performance.
I agree. This has been a joy. Thank you so much for a very fun Sunday experiencing the Tesla Model 3 Performance. Let us know what you think down in the video comments. If you found this video useful, please click the like button and hit subscribe to stay updated to more videos on Tesla.
Bye.